Hey y'all, welcome back to the garage and the channel, and I know you're shocked. This was 2 videos in a month and I haven't done that in a pretty long time. What I got going on here is I am getting this ready to bedline. Now, I've already jammed all of this, I've painted it, it's clear coated, it's all done, it's dried for several days. Now what I'm doing is I'm going over the back side and I'm just using one of my flexible blocks here with some 80 grit, and I've gone over this entire thing by hand, getting up as much of the loose paint as possible, getting the rough surface that our bed liner, this is from Sim, we'll talk about that in a second, getting a good rough surface for this to stick to. I'm not so much worried about dents and dings on the inside, but I am worried about the rust on the inside, because one is you can't primer over the rust. It's going to come back. It's going to cause you problems. If it starts causing problems, this is going to peel, and if you've never tried to take that back up again after it's failed, it's not fun. I've only ever had it happen once, and it was not with Sim. It was with a different brand, but I can't remember what it was. Anyhow, I have sanded all this as much as I possibly can. I've got all the loose paint all off, but I still have some rust sitting way deep down in some of these grooves. So with a can of Permatex rust treatment, all I'm doing is looking for these rust spots and giving it just a quick little coat, and it's going to convert that little bit of rust and what it looks like. So I just sprayed these couple of spots. They haven't yet converted. These I already did, and you can see that's not an optical illusion. It turned that rust black. Or it's almost like it's a purple. You know, if you know anything about gunsmithing, I would almost call it bluing. But that's going to take care of that rust. We can then primer this one more time, because you can't have bare metal to apply the Sim bed liner. Yeah, this is our Sim Gladiator kit. I had always used Raptor. I used one of these kits on a trailer. It was a little more money. The kit was like 130, 140. This, as opposed to what I have the Raptor liner over the years, this I have leftover. I did an entire trailer with one of those kits and had leftover. Okay, this right here, this is a time saver. Okay, you could keep digging at this with sandpaper until you get all the way down and get those little tiny spots of rust out of there, or you can go down and get yourself a can of rust treatment, give it a quick spray, let it do its thing, come back, primer it. To me, it's worth it, you know, to go buy a 10, 12, 14, I don't know how much these are. I'll put a link down below. I have no idea. Before I get too far along, check it out. That's that rust converter. Isn't that freaking cool? Just any place that rust was starting, like that was a really bad spot. Good. So at this point, I'm ready to mask this off, because I do have to primer it. As I said before earlier, the bed liner is not a direct to metal product. It does need a primer, so we're going to get this primered. But again, we're talking about saving time, saving money, what have you, and that's where this comes in. Plastic sheeting that is 20 foot wide by 350 feet long. Now, I could go over around the corner and I could pull the masking paper and I can tape it and go all the way around it and yada yada, which is going to take a bunch of time. Or I'm just going to show you real quick how I do it with the plastic sheeting. And hopefully I can find... Where'd my razor blade go? Damn it. Hold on. Alright, take 2. I don't need a whole bunch of it. All I really need is enough that's going to cover it from here to there. And that should probably do it. I'm not going to be spraying super high pressure primer. I'm going to be spraying it actually kind of thick, but get this plastic sheeting, and we're going to cover up where we've jammed it all already. Going to take my razor blade and I'm just going to zip a window out of it. Is where this comes in. This is blue 3M fine line detail tape, and it's pretty darn thick. If you're not super experienced at running a razor blade like that and cutting a very precise line, it's one of those things that comes with time and experience. Been doing it a long time, so it's pretty easy. I recommend that you use the blue tape because of its thickness, and there's probably a lot less chance that you're going to go cutting through it and creating problems for yourself in your project, which is just going to take more time, more money, what have you. So this is one of those products where it's, you know, spend the money up front, get the good product, as opposed, because I've bought the bad fine line that's super thin. It sucks to work with. It's just not worth it for the aggravation, for the amount of times you got to go through and re-stick it in place. It's like, you know, the 3M brand, and that even pertains to my masking tape. The amount of time it'll take me to fix a failure and a blow through on a paint job, for the amount of time it'll take me to fix that problem that a poor tape caused, like, I'd rather just buy the 3M. See what I mean? I've done this for a long time. Like, it's really easy for me to just run a razor blade really precisely down it. And it's just one of those things that comes over time with doing it. And you kind of get a feel for it. If you're really worried about cutting through it, you can go back. Well, you can go back, but I could also show you how to tip a razor blade and round off the edge of it. It's really easy to do. It takes 1 second. I'm going to show you. You will see that that has an absolute 90-degree corner on it, and it is the tip of that corner that typically will cut through your blue fine line tape and end up cutting into your paint. And how you solve that is you find a hardened metal surface, you bring your razor blade over, and I'm going to take my microphone and I'm going to set it right up here because I want you guys to hear this. I'm going to do it twice, okay? If you put that razor blade tip right there and you just push down on an angle, you're going to hear that snap, and it breaks that corner right off. Let's do it again. Now, it no longer has sharp points. When it snaps, it gives it a radius, and you don't have to worry about cutting through your tape anymore. All right, y'all, we are back again, and we are still, this is day number 2. We are working on that tailgate to get it all prepped up, ready to go, so we can get the SEM bed liner on there. And then same thing with our door. That is all finished being prepped. It is ready to get the primer. All right, got our gun all ready to go. I haven't messed with my settings at all, so I don't have to set this up again. When I apply the primer, I want this primer going on wet. I don't want dry spots on it, so I don't have to come back and do all sorts of prep work again. All right, now that these pieces are all primered up, if it was exterior, I would let it sit 2-3 days. All right, enough time has passed since I put that primer down. It's been about 5-6 hours. Pretty late, temperature's kind of gone down. I'm not gonna jam the door yet because I found some chips in the edge, and if you open the door, you're gonna be able to see them. So I'm gonna fix those before I paint that, so that'll end up being tomorrow. But when it comes to the tailgate, I've already got the bed liner in the ratio right cup. I got the catalyst sitting right next to it. We're gonna knock this out. So that's about all the bed liner material I should need. That's a ratio right cup that's got all the ratios right on it. This is a 4-to-1 mixture, so I put it up to the 5-ounce mark, and then I'm just gonna take it up to the next line on the cup, get it mixed. From there, it is going into a paint pan that I'm gonna leave on the floor, because when I dip the roller, I want to be able to get a nice even texture on it and not just have the roller all loaded up. All right, so 4-to-1, we want to take this up to our 5 mark and let it kind of sit and settle for a second. Make sure we don't go overdoing it. Nope, we're in good shape. Okay, so that's done. From there, pour it right into this pan. Now, the one thing you do have to know about this stuff is the hotter it is outside and the less amount of time that you have to work with this. One is it's gonna get really warm. Actually, it's gonna get hot, and it's gonna start getting sticky within, I'm gonna tell you, like 10-15 minutes. So you don't want to mix up a whole bunch at once. It's gonna get some in that pan like that, so we don't go dripping it on the floor. And then I'm just gonna take some of the bed liner material, I'm gonna pull it up into here, make sure I get that really nice even coat on there, and so that we don't get any drips. I'm gonna start with the center sections. I usually do this with a smaller roller. I was kind of skeptical as to how this big one was gonna work, but you know what? It's gonna work out pretty darn good. So I'm gonna do these recessed areas first, and then I'll take the roller and I'll go over all the other areas and try and get enough up and around these sides here. Is what the first coat's looking like. So I've given this, I don't know, probably about 5-7 minutes. And this is the new roller. This is the second coat. And maybe you can hear it on the microphone. You can hear how sticky it is. So you want to go really light with it. When you're applying that second coat, get that texture in there nice and even all the way across. This is one of those products, don't keep pushing your luck with it. Like, get it done, don't mix too much. When it starts getting sticky, when it starts getting really sticky, it's really time for you to call it quits, because it will rip that roller right apart like that. All right, we've let this dry for a bit. It's a pretty nice finish all the way across. Of course, the dents are still there. We talked about, I don't really care about them, but it's not so dry that it's completely hardened. So what I'm gonna start with, and this is pretty important. So one is, you know, the plastic was all connected, so I cut it right there. So now it's 2 pieces and I can unravel it, and I don't have to worry about this getting dragged up over into the bed liner. But what you want to do when you're peeling something like bed liner, and this even goes for paint, you want to peel at a 45-degree angle and backwards. And what that's going to do is that's going to create this little knife edge right here, and it's going to cut that bed liner material right off. And then when I peel the blue, it's going to be the exact same way. You want to keep the plastic, anything that's got bed liner on it, keep it away from the vehicle, or keep it away from anything that's painted, I should say. I'll do this. Now once that's done, go back. I always like to leave a little tab that I can grab a hold of with this blue tape. And 45-degree angle. Pull it so it makes that knife edge. This is the crappy part because this tape is springy. You don't want to just let it go. It tends to end up back in your paint. There we go. Okay, we're just gonna set that one there, and how nice and clean that cuts that. Again, I know it's a long piece, but we don't want to drop it or let it go. Hopefully I can get it to pop. There it goes. See that? How nice and clean that is. And that's it. Other than drying, the bed liner on the tailgate's done on the inside. We can flip this over and that is ready to paint on the other side, and we can get this put back together, and that's done. Guys, once again, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We're almost to that 1,600. I picked up one sub last video, but the last video kind of bombed. So anyhow, listen, y'all have a good night. I'm getting the heck out of here. See ya.